Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's getting close to Christmas time. We're a couple days away. And for anybody that's considering getting anybody an animal of any kind as a gift for somebody for Christmas, we got to talk. It can either be a really good thing, it can be a really bad thing. And it's something that we really need to give some serious thought to and talk about before you just start giving somebody animals for a Christmas gift. So whether it's reptiles, cats, dogs, birds, gerbils, whatever it is, that's what we're going to talk about today on Intrepid Exotics. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. So as always, guys, if you enjoy the educational work that we do here, if you like seeing the animals like little Snoop, our jungle carpet python, who's all over the place and just intent on not letting me focus on anything, then make sure you get down, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. That's all the stuff that YouTube likes to see in order to get us out to more people. So all that little stuff, it helps. But the first kind of rule of giving somebody an animal, and I'm going to focus specifically on reptiles here because that's what we talk about the most. But this all applies across the board, just about any animal. First thing is that if you're planning on getting somebody a reptile and they don't currently own any, or if you know that they've never owned any, no. There's other ways to go about it because the most important thing that you're doing when you give somebody an animal is you're saddling that person with a responsibility. And it's not just any responsibility. It's responsibility for another entity, another, living, breathing creature that's going to require their time, their attention, and their money. So, there's an old saying, there's no such thing as a free fish tank because you might get the tank for free, but you're going to put $1,000 into it before you even get water in it. And it's the same thing with animals. You may give them a free animal, you may give them, even if you give them a free enclosure and everything, they still got to, take care of food and all of that stuff and the care and the upkeep. So it is a responsibility that you're putting on somebody. And if you're going to do something like that, you need to make really certain that that person already has animals, already knows how to care for it. Like in my case, Athena, my little Burmese python upstairs, she was a gift to me because she knew that I wanted to get a hatchling Burmese python, just regular, normal Burm. And so it was, I don't even know that it was around Christmas time. It was just a gift. But I was ready for her. I knew how to take care of her. I had everything ready, had space for her. But even with everything being right in that situation, she really didn't know the right questions to ask of the person that she got snake from. And come to find out, that hatchling, when she got to me, was fresh out of the egg, didn't have first shed, didn't have first meal. And you've got to make sure, as a breeder, that you're stabilizing your animals, they get a few sheds down, get a few meals down, at the very least, before you go and give them to anybody. So even with everything else being perfect, there was that side of it where she wasn't really sure what to ask or how to ask it or whatever. And I ended up having to force feed that animal for a good 2 or 3 months before she would ever take a meal on her own. Now, gratefully, she's doing fine. She started eating on her own, and she hasn't stopped, and she's growing, and she's doing great, and everything worked out. But that may or may not always be the case. Um, about the only time I would really recommend getting somebody an animal as a Christmas gift or something like that is, say, for instance, it's somebody who you already know has a whole bunch of snakes or reptiles or whatever the case may be. They've been very specific about what it is that they said they want. And there's not a doubt in your mind that if you bring this home, it's going in an enclosure, the person's going to love it. So I'm not saying it's bad necessarily to give somebody an animal as a Christmas gift. It's only bad if you do it the wrong way. If you're not 100% sure that the person's on board, and I'll take myself as an example again. I'm always talking about how I want to get a female green anaconda. And there's no question in anybody's mind that that's one of the next snakes that I'm going to get. The reason why I don't have that animal is because I don't have the space to properly house it right now. Um, that hopefully will change within the next few months. I'm looking at getting a bigger place. That's going to be a viable option pretty soon, which I'm really looking forward to because I'm really looking forward to some cool videos with it. But that being the case, if somebody was to just come up and say, hey man, I know you really want one, here she is. I can't take care of her right now because I really, like I said, I don't have the space for the enclosure that I want to provide for that animal. Um, so if I get one thrown on me and I've got no other option, I'll figure something out. But it's one of those things where I want it, but I want to wait until I've got the ideal circumstances to bring it in. So that's one of those examples where just because somebody says that they want something doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready for it. Whether they realize it or not. Somebody may say that they want something and they're not ready for it, and they don't know that they're not ready for it because they don't know enough about it. So it's all those little things that we've got to take into account when we're thinking about just gifting somebody an animal. Like I said, actually, even if, like, say for instance, somebody's really big into retakes, and that they've had, they've wanted to get this one specific morph. Maybe they've been wanting to get a pied or something like that, and you see an opportunity to get them one. Well, maybe since the last time you talked to that person, maybe they've seen something else that they want to get now, and maybe they're like, oh man, okay, well, yeah, I like that snake, but I was really wanting to get this one. Yeah, any number of things can happen. So maybe an option there is to just say, hey, I'm thinking about getting you a reptile for Christmas. What do you think? What is it that you would want? Let's just go ahead and go pick it out together. Um, it doesn't lose its meaning. If you come up and you say, hey, I'd like to do this for you as a gift for Christmas. And I think in a lot of ways, too, it probably makes it better because then they get to be involved in the process of looking and finding exactly what it is that they want. Uh, not to say that whatever you get them may not be appreciated, but maybe they would appreciate a little bit more if they find exactly what it is they want. So, we hear about it all the time. People getting pets for Christmas and then the pets getting adopted out because the person either loses interest in it or the animal just is neglected because the person either can't or doesn't want to take care of it, and then the animal dies or whatever the case may be. So it's just a bit, it can be a pretty bad situation all the way around. So my thoughts on that is when it comes to gifting people animals for Christmas, unless everybody is 100% sure and 100% knows what they're doing, probably the best option is to just go up to the person that you're thinking about getting it for, and like I said, saying, hey, I'd like to do this for you. What do you think? What would you want? What would you be comfortable getting? And let them choose the level of responsibility that they're willing to accept for the animal. So I don't know. There's probably a lot more you could say about it. Don't want to have this be a terribly long video where I just keep beating the same point. But the long and short of it is, for Christmas time, if you're thinking about, are you doing it again? No? Good. Yeah. He was crawling in my pocket a little while ago. I had half a carpet python in my pocket. Yeah, guys, just be careful and be mindful of anything that you may be thinking about getting for somebody. And again, like I said, probably the best course of action is just say, hey, this is what I'd like to do for you. What do you think? What do you want? What do you want us to do here? And you may find that that gets just as good, if not a better reception. Now, I've had a good deal of handling questions come in here recently, so if you're watching this and you're one of those folks that's been having problems with an animal, not really relaxing or being really bitey or something like that, I'm going to put the series for the Sri Lankan python here at the end. I'd recommend checking that out. It's like a 10 episode series, and I filmed every interaction with a snake from fighting with it right out of the tub the very first time all the way up until I can have him around my neck and he's nice and chill. So that may help you guys. I'm going to put that right up here, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.